Good evening. This is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue, and I am Ashma Uba. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. A forum for National Assembly members on the role of Parliament in domestic revenue mobilization in the post-COVID era was organized on Monday by the Gambia Revenue Authority and partners. At the validation on the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child by the Ministry of Gender, the national coordinator of the Child Protection Alliance says the government is not doing enough to protect children in the Gambia. In line with tradition, the people of Sabah Sanjal district gathered on Saturday in Yalalba village to celebrate the appointment of Usman Bah as Minister of Communication and Digital Economy. Author Safia Tujouf launched her book titled Under the Spell of Poetry on Saturday, which also promotes Gambian literature. In sports news, Birkama Trust Gunjur 3-0 in the Super Cup final of the West Coast Region Zonal Championship at Box Bar Mini Stadium in Birkama on Sunday. Now those were main headlines. Now the news in detail. Revenue collection is crucial in a tax-based economy such as the Gambia's. The West African Tax Administration Forum WATAF, in partnership with UNDESA and Gambia Revenue Authority, organized a forum on Monday for National Assembly members on the role of Parliament domestic revenue mobilization in the post-COVID era. Ajibintu Drami has more.
This training comes as developing countries are acutely affected by the economic impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, which is causing unprecedented revenue losses. This two-day deliberation with experts and parliamentarians will help find ways to improve domestic tax collection. Yankuba Dabo, the Commissioner General of the GRA and Chairman of WATAF, thanked partners for their support in making the forum a reality and underscored the significant role the National Assembly members have to play.
The need to shift the focus on domestic revenue mobilization is a key goal in our Corporate Strategic Plan 2020 to 2024. It is an objective of government as enshrined in the National Development Plan, with the frequent shocks to the economic emanating from the outside of the continent. It has become even more important as a continent to shift the focus to domestic revenue to provide a cushion for these frequent shocks.
The COVID-19 and the current Russia-Ukraine war have adversely affected developing states, including the Gambia, which are largely dependent on international trade, external finance and tourism, adding to pre-existing challenges. Babatunde Oladepo, Executive Secretary of WATAF, says COVID-19 has taught nations lessons to make sure that our economies receive the needed boost to the available domestic revenue.
And I can assure you, as we go forward, we will be having this constant engagement to ensure that our countries are viable, that our countries are funded by our own money, to ensure that also we can stand up among the Committee of Nations, not only in Africa, in the world, and said indeed we can fund our development sustainably.
Emily Muya is Chief Capacity Development Unit of the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, UNDESA.
It's important for us to consider what role everyone has to play in the tax policy, administration, and actually generation of revenue. And that is why it is important, and we are happy to have you here, parliamentarians, and I believe also some representatives from the Ministry of Finance, for us to really be able to have dialogue.
Sidi Njai, the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, says the forum is important and that there is a need to get robust policies and up-to-date laws to help galvanize and maximize tax mobilization.
They are committed towards that, but members of Parliament in our oversight functions, in ensuring that we worked for the betterment of the people of the Gambia, we must scrutinize. We must be part of partners who will help government and the executive arm of government to come up with policies.
As the Ministry of Finance will soon table the 2023 appropriation bill before the Assembly, Sidi Keita, the Minister of Finance, says the forum is timely and will help expand our revenue base and knowledge on revenue mobilization.
The Ministry of Finance and the GRA are implementing a host of policies and programs aimed at changing the revenue mobilization and for anchoring our revenue drive on the domestic resource mobilization.
Domestic revenue mobilization is important for economic and social development as they allow government to finance critical public services, including health and education. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
The National Coordinator of the Child Protection Alliance says the government is not doing enough to protect children in the Gambia. Lamin Fati made these remarks at the opening of a validation forum on the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child, organized by the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare and partners. Julden Jai has the rest of that story.
The three-day forum is in preparation for a report on the list of issues of the Convention on the Right of the Child to respond to challenges registered over the years and find solutions. Some Gambian children are subjected to child labor, commercial sexual exploitation, forced begging, among others. The Gambia is ranked 138 out of 157 countries in the 2018 World Bank Human Capital Index. This rating implies that Gambian children are likely to accomplish only 40% of their overall potential in their working lives. Despite laws to address the problem, the Gambia continues to register an average 30% annual increase in child labor. Young children are seen selling water, food items and other commodities just to contribute to the upkeep of their respective families, exposing them to violations and exploitation. The National Coordinator of the Child Protection Alliance, Lamin Fati, said the government is not doing enough to protect the rights and welfare of the children in the country.
Gambia is ranking as one of the lowest in terms of investment when it comes to children enjoying the service delivery areas, and also to whether it's education, whether it's health. So basically the provision aspect of it also too, I am not too impressed. I think there's a lot more to be done. But equally also too, you looked at the other part which we talked about, the participation part, right? How is the state also creating that conducive environment, a mechanism also, a platform where children will be able to participate in decision making, right? Is government engaging children, in government involving children when it comes to issue of policy development, when it comes to issue of even law reforms? I might be a bit generous to give them 40.
Bintu H.K. Fati Juf, the Director of Children's Affairs at the Ministry of Gender, says the government is working tirelessly to respond to the seemingly unending challenges confronting children in the country.
A first time in history to also have Directorate of Children Affairs, an independent directorate to be looking at children issues only. First time in history. And there are also a lot of laws ratified by Gambia government. So these are efforts that Gambia government is not sitting like over children issues, but they are trying everything within their means as part of their obligations in the CRC and also in the Children's Act of 2005.
The Gambia is among 193 countries that ratified the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. By ratifying the convention, national governments commit to protecting and ensuring children's rights as outlined in the convention, and they also hold themselves accountable for this commitment before the international community. In 2016 and 2017, the Gambia government made efforts to address the problem of child labor and exploitation by launching policies designed to target the worst forms of child labor. Additionally, the government created agencies responsible for enforcing these laws relating to child labor, including the Child Protection Alliance, the Gambia Police Force Child Welfare Unit, and the Department of Social Welfare, amongst others. Nonetheless, adequate enforcement of the policies and laws still falls short of mitigating child labor and exploitation in the Gambia. For QTV News, I am Julden Jai.
Now, in line with tradition, the people of Sabah Senjal district gathered on Saturday in Yalalba village to celebrate the appointment of Usman Bah as the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, who is a native of the area. Alusisi reports.
Minister Usman Bah returned to his home village of Yalalba to a rousing welcome where community elders, senior government officials, friends and family members within and beyond Sabah Senjal district in the North Bank region gathered not just to celebrate his appointment, but to once again thank him for his support to the community. For many, it was an opportunity to know and interact with Minister Bah, who had spent 32 years in the United States before returning to the Gambia. Usman Bah is the first occupant of the new Minister of Communication and Digital Economy created under the Barrow administration. Minister Bah has over 20 years corporate experience at the executive level in the telecoms and fintech industries. He spent 16 years of his career in telecoms industry as area internet manager for AT&T, and then held over executive positions in the fintech industry in the Silicon Valley, California, such as managing director of Pure Energies, vice president of Bank of America Small Business, where he partnered with 130 branches with over $30 million portfolio. Recognized as a visionary, strategist, and transforming architect and change agent, Minister Bah holds a BSc in Information Technology and a double master's in System and Network Management in the United States. He expressed delight and humility at the welcome accorded him by his people and thanked all those who have supported his journey. He used the event to encourage the young generation of Yalal Bah and Sabak Sanjal to remain committed to realize their vision.
All these things didn't happen because of just hard work or just ambitious, but discipline. I believe in everything happened because of discipline. When you have discipline, everything follows. And that discipline is be patient, appreciate people, and also be close to those who are better than you, not those who you are better than. Learn from those who have done it before and done it very well.
Modke Sise, Chief of Staff, Office of the President, who is also a native of the area, accompanied Minister Bah. He joined Minister Bah to thank the people of the area for conceiving the idea to organize such an event to celebrate their son, uncle, and father.
It shows that we are being regarded also as role models for our younger generations, just like we were also looking up to our elders and seniors to be where we are today. His Excellency have done great things for this region. Not only he have put in bring us infrastructural development, but he have also honored us among a host of other individuals who are equally competent and qualified.
Alhaji Babu Sise, National Assembly member for Sabak Sanjal constituency, said it is a tradition that when one of them is appointed to such a portfolio, the people of the area organize to celebrate the achievement.
And definitely we are very happy and pleased to receive the Honorable Minister of Digital Economy, who is a native of Sabak Sanjal district in Yalal Bah.
Several speakers, including Yarga Bah, village head of Yalal Bah, friends and family members of Bah, all congratulated Minister Bah and prayed for a successful assignment. They renewed their hopes and confidence in Minister Bah's competence to deliver to the expectation of all Gambians. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Now that story by Aliou Cisse will lead us to a commercial break, but when we return, we have more local news as well as sports. Don't go away.
Cedric and Caroline came in to choose tiles for their brand new kitchen. Brown or beige? Brown. And why not a new mixture tap? A new sink too? Fine, a new sink too. And what about a lighting fixture? Shall we go for this one? See, you're finally on the same page.
I also wanted a new kitchen counter.
We got you, Caroline.
And yes, that's Batimat's Bati Days. Take advantage of exceptional discounts up to 60% on several products families. From November 5th to 19th, you will.
li ko waral mooy QTV ak Marketplace dañoo tàmm di won réew mi li nga xamante ne mooy quality fashion tegu ci temps xew ci jamono ne xoxo lool ma tàmm ci Marketplace day jël caméramanam dugg ci biir réew mi seet li nga xamante ne suñuy xale yi réew dañu ko bëgg ndax ñoom dañoo coquette lool seet li gën te gën a gën ñu indil leen ko fii ci biir QTV ngeen di ko seetaan ci àdduna wërngal këpp man namatuma flight jambe li ko waral mooy lépp lu ma daan wuti bitim réew mu ngi fii ci biir réew mi waaye da nga koo bëgg a gis da nga koo bëgg a xam da nga naan jàkk Marketplace dafa fas yéene ñëwaat 2022 bii ànd ak QTV nee nañ kee ngay daxee boo ko mën la jot li ci sa loxo nga koy sànni moo waral QTV bëgg a sànni seeni programme seeni product yéen teelo yi yéen designers yi ci biir marketplace boo sànnee day dal de bëgg ngaa sànni da nga jël seeni nomba nga jokkoo ak ñoom ñu fekk si la ci sa diiwaan wane la lu coquette li nga am pour réew mi 324 4444 ak marketplace dama ciy toogee nu ma neexee ndax lépp lu ma fay gis day tëgg sa bëm.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News with me, Asma Uba. Now, author Safiatou Diouf launched her book Under the Spell of Poetry on Saturday to promote Gambian literature. The event was attended by some of the nation's most renowned authors, politicians and senior government officials. Ansumana Eso Nyasi attended the event and he now reports.
Safiatou's book features poems about issues affecting society and celebrates national inspirational figures, amongst others. This is not just any book launch. It is an event that ushers in a historic moment in the life of this young dynamic woman whose work and advocacy have earned her admirers across the country and among the political elite. Her book, titled Under the Spell of Poetry, is also inspired by the life of the nation's most iconic political and public figures and her religious beliefs. The book launch marked the induction of Safiatou Diouf into the Gambia's Authors Club as one of few women to have published a book leaving her mark in Gambian literature. Reviewing the book, former diplomat and current Deputy CEO of the OIC Gambia Secretariat, Esa Bokar Sy, Siri SK Njai, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, and Bakari Waibaji, the Minister of Youth and Sports, all hailed the young author for her perseverance and willingness to exploit her talent and share her thoughts, as well as recognizing the contribution of some of the nation's iconic figures.
Liberate yourself from that mindset, because we have a problem, and the problem is cultural imperialism.
The President has asked me to extend his congratulations and his delight to Ms. Diouf for her dedication to nation duty and for successfully writing this very important book with the main objective of impacting knowledge to all and sundry.
Safiatou, congratulations on this very important day of yours, on the launching of your book, Under the Spell of Poetry. You can be assured that the ministry will continue to support you. But even if we are no longer at that place, and of course we will one day leave that place, you can be assured of our personal support.
Respected politician and linguist Side Jatta called for more support for Gambian authors. Jatta wants young children to embrace the culture of reading.
A writer is inspired. He or she can write a book one single night. And Senabu Safiatou is one of those writers. Nobody has ever made me speechless what that girl, that lady, made me speechless that day. Until our administrative secretary was telling me, Uncle, what is wrong with you? You are just like that, as if you are a peg. You are doing nothing, you are speaking nothing, you are just looking at this. I say, yes, because I am inspired by what she was saying.
For Safiatou Diouf, the launch of her first published book is the culmination of months of work and research. She thanks her sponsors and the public for supporting her work.
The battle of tears. I was afraid of failure. But I embraced my weaknesses, accepted my critics, bounds and rebounds again. And I refused to let my tears drop again. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, dignitaries, invitees, and honorable special guest speakers.
Safiatou, a promising computer science student at the University of the Gambia, hopes her book will motivate minds and hearts and serve as a tool to understand our real societal problems. Saturday's event was characterized by speeches from various speakers, Quranic recitations and poetry performances, climaxed by pledges from those present, and hundreds of copies were bought within an hour of its launching. President Barrow also donated an undisclosed amount of cash to the author. Ansumana Nyasi for QTV News.
Congratulations, Safiatou. Now we move on. Now it is that time of the year that watermelons are seen being sold abundantly on our streets and roadsides. QTV's Loli M. Kamara spoke to consumers and dealers about some of the benefits and challenges involved.
The watermelon is that type of fruit that is healthy, nutritious, and has a sweetness that makes it very popular. Research shows that because of its high water content, it has a low calorie density, and eating foods with low calories such as watermelon may aid weight management. At Kairava Avenue, where selling watermelon is a top sport for dealers, we spoke to traders who highlighted the many challenges involved in the business. Nasiru Bari is a farmer who cultivates and sells watermelons. According to him, growing the fruit in Nyamina and selling it there could have been much easier. But because of the lack of a ready market, that's not possible. However, coming to the greater Banjul area, the business is much harder.
Guy lu ñuy dem fofu di ñu fayal xaal defa seer ñun tamit nag ñu indi ko fi wante suñu xamoon saa pour ñu jaay ko foofu moo ñu génn.
Considering the challenges, selling it in the provinces would have been easier because there, the amount we sell and the amount we end up throwing away is almost equal, and the business is slow. So on behalf of all dealers, I appeal to the government to help provide us with a special place where we can sell and store as well to minimize our loss.
Many I spoke to off camera say farmers are doing all they can, but their plight remains unaddressed. Nasiru Bari again.
Béykat yi dañuy financer lu bari ci tool yi because engrais bi dafa seer, everything dafa seer comme tracteur pour liggéey foofu affaire bi yëpp dafa seer.
Everything involved in farming is expensive. Things like farm equipment, fertilizers and transportation. And farm owners, after considering all this, will then give a random price. Reaching here, we again struggle to sell. As you can see, the rotten ones are many, and I have to pay a mini truck to collect it for me, which cost me $1,000. Also, this place has been given to us by KMC, which we appreciate, but we are appealing to them to help in collecting the spoiled watermelons.
Mustafa Yafa, a buyer, says he prefers to buy melons at this time of the day because of its many health benefits.
Watermelon is very good for your body. Even if you don't drink water, once you have a watermelon, it's good for your system. It's very nice. It's not too much sugar, not calorie in it. It's very good. That's why I prefer to watermelon every time when you have a heat like that.
The watermelon season can last for months, and according to dealers, prices range from $100 upwards. Dealers suggest having a whole year-round watermelon season in the country, as it happens in neighboring countries. For QTV News, Loli M. Kamara.
That story by Loli M. Kamara will lead us to sports news. Now, Brikama Trust Gunjur 3-0 in the Super Cup final of the West Coast Region Zonal Championship at the Boxbar Mini Stadium in Brikama on Sunday. Our sports reporter Mamadou Gajaga was there and he now reports.
It was a spectacular display from Brikama against the team that had a better head-to-head record against them in recent years. In the first half, Sekuba Sise put Brikama in front with a simple finish after Babukar Silla's free kick was headed goalward. However, Gunjur's goalkeeper could only parry, allowing Sekuba Sise to tap into the net. Brilliant left winger Bubakar Sane scored twice early in the second half to make it 3-0 for Brikama. Sane's first goal came after a good control on the left, ran with pace and beautifully dribbled through the Gunjur defense before volleying into the net. Sane added a second beautiful goal, which earned him the man of the match performance. He beat a defender before putting a neat finish past the keeper. It could have turned out differently, as Gunjur had a big miss from the penalty spot just 2 minutes into the game, after keeper Ibrahima Fadera was adjudged to have fouled Lamin Silla in the box. Fadera went on to save Babukar Bojang's spot kick and the following rebound by parrying the ball. This is how an elated Bubakar Sane reacted to Brikama's win.
Amba coach instruction no bortani wole no because for savo bitaka nyama mantran Facebook no so second half amba coach la tati sol nadare no after goal change after playtani wole no al natan demani wole amba ni wino en kontan bakele no motivation di mo la ko tengé no because ndol hamom ni na because last year zone le mol bourde 2 times in a row homana wi.
We followed the instructions of our coach because things were not working well for us, but in the second half it was good. We are very happy for this victory. It's kind of a revenge because Gunjur defeated us twice in the same competition last year. Sirif Mankajang, coach of Brikama, says they had to put a stop to Gunjur's recent dominance over Brikama.
The difference is what I put to the boys, that we are representing the biggest town in the country. Gunjur cannot just come at home and beat us. It has to stop from today. And make sure when you go, there must be tempo, intensity and concentration for the whole 90 minutes. We are bigger than them. Let's go on them and beat them. And I think it paid dividends.
Suleiman Barrow, coach of Gunjur, reflected on his side's costly mistakes in the game, especially the penalty miss.
You know, what went wrong for us, we could have capitalized on our chance that we had as a penalty. We had in the first minute of the game, we could not convert it. I didn't mean we convert that penalty, we could have been on top of the game. But unfortunately for us, we failed, we missed the penalty, and then they punished us accordingly with the mistake from the back, because we are not able to recover well, you know, from that penalty spot. So that's the first thing that went wrong. But and secondly, we have so many new players that, you know, are involved in the team, you know, that are different from the last year's squad. So all these players need to learn the formation and the system, which will take time sometimes before you get your system to work.
The giant trophy lifted by Brikama was donated by Lamin J. Sani, National Assembly member for Brikama South. The two sides will again face each other next weekend, with Gunjur hosting Brikama. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
That's all we have, but before we go, a recap of main news headlines. A forum for National Assembly members on the role of Parliament in domestic revenue mobilization in post-COVID era was organized on Monday by the Gambia Revenue Authority and partners. At the validation of the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child by the Ministry of Gender, the National Coordinator of the Child Protection Alliance, Lamin Fati, says the government is not doing enough to protect children in the Gambia. In line with tradition, the people of Sabah Sanjal district gathered on Saturday in the Alalba village to celebrate the appointment of Usman Bah as Minister of Communication and Digital Economy. Author Safia Tujouf on Saturday launched her book titled Under the Spell of Poetry, which among other things promotes Gambian literature. In sports news, Brikama Trust Gunjur 3-0 in the Super Cup final of the West Coast Region Zonal Championship at the Box Bamini Stadium in Brikama on Sunday. That's all we have for this news edition. Join us at 10 for more news. Thanks for watching.